Good morning, all of you. So, we have been discussing the chapter, the magnetic effects of electric current, isn't it? And till the last class, we discussed so many things which were very important. First of all, magnetic field, then magnetic field lines, its properties, then solenoid, electromagnet. So many things we discussed along with a few activities. Now today we are moving to one of the important activities in this chapter, that is force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. That means you know that a current carrying conductor will behave like a magnet. That we have seen through the Oersted experiment in the first class, isn't it? A current carrying conductor will behave like a magnet. Now, if this current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, with the help of magnets we can provide magnetic field, and if this current carrying conductor is placed in such a magnetic field, a force is experienced by it. Force is experienced means as it experiences a movement. Okay, some sort of movement will happen in that conductor. That is why we are saying that it is experiencing a force. So here, in order to understand it in detail, we are using an activity. So what is the aim of our activity? As first we have to write, for any activity we have to write the aim first. What is the aim? It is to demonstrate the existence of force, isn't it? To demonstrate the existence of force on a current carrying conductor. On a current carrying conductor. And it is placed in where? Which is placed in a magnetic field. Clear? To demonstrate the existence of force on a current carrying conductor which is placed in a magnetic field. So this is our aim. Now what all materials are required to do this activity? First of all, we need a small aluminium rod. Okay, a small aluminium rod we need. Clear? Now second one is a horseshoe magnet, or you can say a U-shaped magnet. So second one is horseshoe magnet. Clear? Third is a battery, then key, rheostat. What is a rheostat? As it is a variable resistance which is used to change the amount of current flowing through the circuit. Then we need a stand and some connecting wires. Clear? So a small aluminium rod, horseshoe magnet, battery, key, rheostat, a stand and connecting wires. Okay. Now, how to perform this experiment? So, before performing the experiment, we have to connect it, isn't it? So, how is it connected? We can check a diagram in which these materials like aluminium rod, horseshoe magnet, battery, key, rheostat, stand, connecting wires all are arranged in a very good setup. Okay, so let us see the diagram first. Okay, students, listen here. This is our circuit diagram. You can see this is the aluminium rod. That is AB is the aluminium rod. Clear? Now we have a horseshoe magnet. Horseshoe magnet having a south pole as well as a north pole. Clear? Now one end of the aluminium rod is connected to the negative of the battery. Okay, then here the positive terminal is connected to a key. You can connect the rheostat also here. Then it is connected to the other end of the rod. Understand? So we have an aluminium rod AB, then a horseshoe magnet, battery, key, then the stand, and these are the connecting wires. Clear? So this is the setup used to perform this experiment or to perform this activity in order to find whether there is any force experienced by this current carrying aluminium rod when it is placed in a magnetic field. Clear? Okay, now let us discuss the activity. You can see that this aluminium rod is suspended horizontally with the help of the connecting wires. Okay, so this aluminium rod AB is suspended horizontally from a stand with the help of connecting wires. Now you can see this aluminium rod is kept in between a horseshoe magnet. Okay, now the south pole is directed in the upward direction and north in the downward direction. Clear? So this is the horseshoe magnet will be placed like this, and you are suspending your aluminium rod like this. Okay, in between the horseshoe magnet. So horseshoe magnet is there, then with the north pole in the downward point and south pole in the upward point. Then this aluminium rod is placed in between these two poles of the horseshoe magnet. You got it? Clear? Now what we are doing is we are putting the switch on. Okay, so current will start to flow, isn't it? When the current starts to flow, this conductor will behave like a magnet. These all things you know. Now in this magnet, what is the direction of the magnetic field? As it is always from north to south, isn't it? So here in this figure, the direction of the magnetic field is from north to south, which means in the upward direction. If suppose if this is your horseshoe magnet, this is your north pole and this is your south pole, which means that the magnetic field lines are always aligned from where? From north to south. That means in this direction. In this direction, the magnetic field is aligned here. So when you place a rod like this and the magnetic field in the upward direction, now we have to observe what is happening there. Okay, so when you are switching it on, when the key is switched on, what is observed is that this rod is moving towards the left. Understand? The rod is moving towards the left. Clear? That means your magnetic field in the upward direction, Now your rod is like this. Okay, rod is like this in between these magnetic field. Then it is seen that suddenly when the current is switched on, the rod moves towards the left. There is a movement for the rod towards the left. Clear? Now reverse the direction of current. How? As by reversing the battery. That is, positive is connected there and negative is connected there. So the battery gets reversed and suddenly it is observed that this rod gets moved to the right. The rod is moving towards the right. Understand? Then if you are interchanging the poles, that means when north is placed in the upward direction and south in the downward direction also, change is noticed. Okay, so how can you conclude here? That means if there is a displacement happened for the aluminium rod when the current is switched on, that is when it is placed in a magnetic field, you can say that a force is exerted on that aluminium rod, or force is experienced by the current carrying conductor. Understand? Now this force, the direction of force can be calculated or can be found out by changing the direction of current or by changing the direction of what? Magnetic field. That is, the poles can be interchanged or the battery can be reversed so that the current, direction of current also will get changed, and as a result the movement is seen towards the other side. First it was seen towards the left side, then it was seen towards the right side. Understand? So this is the experimental procedure, then the observation, and finally the conclusion. Okay, so this is a very important experiment to prove that a force is exerted or force is experienced by the current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field. That is our aim. Okay, now the materials required are, first one is an aluminium rod, then horseshoe magnet, then connecting wires, battery, key, then stand, also rheostat you can use to change the direction of, change the amount of current. Now it is connected in such a way that this rod is suspended horizontally from a stand with the help of the connecting wires. Then a horseshoe magnet is placed in such a way that south pole is in the upward point and north in the downward position. So when the battery is connected, when the key is on, it is observed that the rod moved towards the left. Again, when the direction is reversed, direction of the current is reversed, it is seen that the rod gets moved towards the right. So as there is a displacement in the rod, it is concluded that a force is exerted on this rod when it is placed in a magnetic field. So this is a current carrying conductor. It is placed in a magnetic field and it is experiencing a force. Clear? Now, in order to establish this clearly, a rule was introduced. And the rule is called Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, Fleming's left hand rule. Already we studied one rule. I think you remember that. It is right hand thumb rule. Now we are going to study Fleming's left hand rule. So how can we state the rule, or what is the purpose of this rule? Both questions are important. That is, name the rule and for what purpose this rule is used. As this rule is used to state the direction of force acting on the conductor. Okay, right hand thumb rule gives the direction of magnetic field, isn't it? There we are using our right hand with thumb pointing in the direction of the current, and the curled fingers or the wrapped fingers will give the direction of magnetic field. Now this rule, Fleming's left hand rule, okay, be clear with this because again one more rule we want to study. So this is Fleming's left hand rule is actually giving or providing the information about the direction of motion of the conductor or direction of force experienced by the conductor. In both ways you can say either the force experienced or the motion. Okay, motion means movement. That is what displacement. That is what called force. Only when there is a force it will get displaced, isn't it? So the direction of motion of the conductor or direction of force experienced by a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field is given by which rule? As Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, so let us move to the statement of the rule. Listen carefully. So listen to the statement. According to this rule, stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of left hand such that they are mutually perpendicular. If the first finger points in the direction of magnetic field, second in the direction of current, then the thumb gives the direction of motion or the force acting on the conductor. Clear? Once again, according to this rule, we have to use our left hand. Okay, don't get confused. Left hand. Now, how we have to hold the fingers? As you have to stretch your 3 fingers starting from thumb, then the forefinger and the middle finger. How? In mutually perpendicular direction, which means mutually perpendicular means like this. Isn't it? That is, these two are perpendicular. Again, these two are perpendicular. 3-dimensionally you have to think, because I can't draw like that. So this is like this, okay, like this only. So these two are perpendicular, these two are perpendicular, and these two are perpendicular. Such a case is called what? Mutual or mutually perpendicular. Mutually perpendicular. Clear? So in such a way you have to hold your thumb, then forefinger as well as middle finger. So like this you have to hold. Okay. Now you can see that these two are perpendicular. Isn't it? The forefinger and middle finger are perpendicular. Again, thumb and your middle finger are perpendicular. Isn't it? Also these two are perpendicular. Thumb and your forefinger are perpendicular. So in such a way you have to hold. And if you are holding in such a way, if you are holding your 3 fingers in such a mutually perpendicular direction, we can say that your forefinger, okay, the forefinger points in the direction of magnetic field. The forefinger points in the direction of magnetic field. Clear? Now, the middle finger will point in the direction of current. Middle finger will point in the direction of current. Okay. Now, the third one, that is, if these two are like this, you can say or you can state that your thumb will give the direction of force acting on the conductor. Clear? So forefinger will represent the direction of magnetic field. Then thumb will represent the direction of current. Middle finger will represent the direction of current. Then your thumb will give the direction of what? Force experienced by, or the motion happened in that conductor. Okay. But the condition is always you have to place like this, that is in mutually perpendicular direction. Now with the help of this rule, you can go back to your activity that we have discussed just now. So in that activity, you can see that the direction of magnetic field in which direction? In the upward direction, isn't it? So I told that the forefinger is representing the magnetic field. So how you have to hold? Is forefinger you have to hold in the upward direction. Okay. Now in the figure, what is the direction of current? So hold your forefinger like this. That is, this indicates the direction of what? Magnetic field in the upward direction, isn't it? Because forefinger is giving you the direction of magnetic field. Now there is an aluminium rod, and first case we told that the aluminium rod, the current is moving from B to A, isn't it? That is from this point B towards A, like this. It is coming out because we are holding the aluminium rod in between the horseshoe magnet, the pole pieces of the horseshoe magnet, and the current is coming out or towards the plane of the paper, okay, outward, okay. So it is in this direction. First it is from B to A, This is A, this is B. So from B to A. Clear? So you got the direction of what? Your magnetic field as well as the direction of your current. Then you can see that this is the direction of force. That is why in the first case I told that the aluminum rod will move towards where? Left. Understand? Aluminum rod will move towards left. Clear? So in such a way, if you are reversing the current, how can you find? I told that if you are reversing the current, the aluminum rod will be displaced towards the right. How can you find that? Yes, wait. So in this case, you know that the direction of current is reversed. Again, the magnetic field in this direction, forefinger will represent the magnetic field and the thumb will give you the direction of what? Force. Okay. And also the middle finger will give you the direction of current. So if it is reverse means in this direction, in the inward direction the current is flowing. Clear? And again you have the direction of magnetic field. It is not changed because it is from north to south only. Then you can see that by holding it in the mutually perpendicular direction, this thumb will give you the direction of what? Movement or the force experienced. So that is why the aluminum rod displaced towards the right. Aluminum rod displaced towards the right because the direction is reversed. Okay, in this way you can hold and find it. Any question you can solve if you are knowing the rule. Understand? So how can you state the rule once again? The rule states that if the first finger or the forefinger points in the direction of magnetic field, the second finger or the middle finger in the direction of current, then the thumb gives the direction of motion or the force acting on the conductor. And according to this rule, the main thing is you have to stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of your left hand in mutually perpendicular direction. The three should be mutually perpendicular. Understand? So after holding like that, you have to use the rule to solve the problem. So in some questions, the direction of magnetic field and current will be given like from north to south or from inward to outward, like that it will be given, and you will be able to solve by using this rule. So please be aware that this rule is used to find the direction of force acting on a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, or the direction of motion of the conductor placed in a placed in a magnetic field. Okay, so study it properly. It is clearly given in your textbook. So study the rule as well as the activity. Okay, then after studying, if you have any doubt, contact me, and have a nice day. Thank you.